All right. Sounds.
I think that's probably.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are you the guest speaker? We move this up a little bit.
What's that? Huh?
Change your menu. But the only thing changing is that like graduation. Yeah, like that on the graduation. They'll all be lined up over here, and once they're all lined up over here, and all of the graduates are in, then we're just gonna go right into our flag song. Yeah, probably be standing or yeah, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So funny, Evie. Stop. All right. Well, I guess we are about ready to begin our program for today. But before we do so, I'd like to welcome you to Cankdeska Cikana Community College's 2026 commencement ceremony. Before we begin, there are a few announcements. Please turn your cell phones onto silent or off. And families, please hold off on wrapping your graduates with quilts and taking pictures until after the ceremony. We have a nice handy little backdrop over there that you can use after the ceremony. There'll be plenty of time for that. And then also after the ceremony, please join us out in the cafe area for cake and refreshments. And with that, drummers, please begin.
Present arms. Order arms. Left face. Forward.
Thank you, White Horse Hill Singers and VFW Post, for that great opening. I would like to say a few words before we fully begin here. My name is Eric Rognes, just so you know a little bit about me. And I think you may be seated at this time, I believe. I thought, should I make them stand the whole time? Well, I'm your master of ceremonies today. My name is Eric Rognes, as it says on the program. And just so you know a little bit about me, if you don't know me, I'm an instructor and academic dean here at Cankdeska. I've been a dean for about a year and a half, but I've been here for a total of 18 years. And how quickly those 18 years have passed. It's been a blur, but it's been an enjoyable blur because we have a great institution here. And, I've spent the majority of my professional career at Cankdeska, and it's been a worthy investment of my time and my professional career. I told a class not long ago that, we're talking about age, and I'm getting older, that I'm so old, I went to the old St. Michael's School. And one of my students, I appreciate sarcasm, right? I'm kind of sarcastic myself. They said, wow, that place was real? And I was like, yeah, it was real. And it was great. And one of the reasons it was so great, at least for me, was that my grandmother was actually the secretary there. Some of you might remember her, Eleanor Langstaff. And she would sit outside the principal's office. And I was thinking about this the other day. Having grandma working there could be a double-edged sword. Right? It was cool to have, when you're a kid, it's cool to have your adults around. Right? When you get older, it's maybe not so cool. But in elementary school, it was cool having grandma around. But that could be a double-edged sword because when you got in trouble, and believe it or not, I got in trouble a time or two, you had to go sit in grandma's office before you had to see the principal. And when, you're sitting there in grandma's office, she would give you that look. Now I don't have to explain that, do I? That look that only a grandmother or a mother can give you when you've done something you're not supposed to. And in many ways, that look was scarier than the paddle that hung in the principal's office. Some of you may remember that, the old St. Michael's School. But it wasn't until years later that I fully understood what that look meant. When I became an educator myself, was a parent myself. And, so I finally understood that look that grandma would give me and my cousins, who would get in more trouble than me, by the way. That when it comes to education, there's a certain set of expectations that come with education. It doesn't matter if it's elementary school, high school, or college. There's a certain set of expectations that come with that. And you're expected to succeed, but you're also expected to excel. And that brings me to this group of very special graduates today. And not only have they succeeded, but they have excelled in every possible way. And I could not be any more proud of them as one of their instructors and as their academic dean. Never once did I have to give any of them the look, right? So it is with great honor, and it's a great privilege for me to be here today to MC this special event. And speaking of students, I would like to call up to the stage right now our student who has been selected to give our opening prayer, Zach Allen. Every year, well, I can give him a round of applause right away, I guess. Every year, our Dakota language instructor, Marva Tollefson, selects one of her students to give the prayer at a graduation ceremony. It's a great honor, and it's a testament not only to Marva's teaching ability, she's a great educator, but also to the ability of our students. So I will turn the mic over to Zach Allen.
All right. Ate wakantanka. On petu ki de un yakupi ki ni na wopi da tanka un kenichiapi. Ampetu ki de wowe yuski tanka. Wa unspe kuwa ki de na owa sina waya wa hedushtan pikan itan uyapi. Uyate ki wicha uwasakapi. Wichoni di e chant ha taku ota washteshte ikumpikta. Wa unspe kuwa de na iyo hi wicha ya washte ate wakantanka. Tue heche wicha kyakaka ki heched unpikta o wichakia. Kanaku wa unshpe wichakie ki o wikakiapi ki hena insa wicha yawaste. Dakota he unchapi ki kadeched unyakakapi ki he unpida uni yampi. Tena o washina wanikia chase ki uni chidapi. Mitako wase.
Thank you, Zach, for starting us off in that good way. It's much appreciated. And thank you, Marva, for being such an excellent Dakota language instructor. Now it is my honor to introduce to you our president, Dr. Stephen Smith, for our welcome address.
Thank you, Eric, and welcome, and thank you, Zach. As Eric says, I'm Stephen Smith. I'm president of Cankdeska Cikana Community College, and one of the things I'd like to say first is that Zach is also our English composition instructor, also a CDL student, among other things that he's chosen to do here at the college, so we certainly appreciate that and celebrate him as a student, along with the other class of 2026. Thank you for coming out to support our students, your friends, your relatives. We also want to thank the tribal chairwoman for being our commencement speaker, other council members who are in the room, as well as our board of regents who are also on the stage. Also extend a thank you to them for also showing up to be here today to celebrate our students. This day represents the fruit of the labor of our students, and by the grace of the Creator, they made it here today through all the trials and tribulations that come along with attending school, and we appreciate them for choosing us to begin that journey into education. It's been a privilege for us to have you here. We have watched the growth of our students over the course of time they've been here. And we know that you've also been able to watch the growth as we have publicized a lot of the events that we have on campus. You have seen them on social media, through all of the events that we've had through AHEC, through some of the other events that our students have participated in here on campus and around the community. We certainly appreciate that. As students, we know that there are great things that you will accomplish in the future, so be confident you are prepared to engage in any endeavor that your heart desires, knowing that you are armed with something that no one from this point forward can take away, and that is that you have received a great education, tribal college education. Your education has been infused with Dakota values, language, thought, philosophy, history, in the programs that you have matriculated through. So know that wherever you go, you have that education, and wherever you go, whichever room you're in, presence you're in, people who see you, they will know that you are an educated human being. It'll be shown in the way you walk, the way you enter the room, the way you speak, the way you engage with others, so they will understand that who they are dealing with out in the world, that you are an educated human being and you represent the best of this institution. And a lot of you also represent the best of Spirit Lake Nation. It's a fruit of this nation. So know that that you are seen in that light as you move forward. The education that you have will also sustain you through whatever trials, tribulations, vicissitudes of life that come your way. So we say to you goodbye at this juncture, but it's not because you have now become alumni of CCCCC. So in that respect, this college will always be home, and hopefully some of you will return. One of the things that I used to say to students in my class when I was teaching business is my job was to teach myself out of a job, meaning that one of the students should come back and take my job. And as president now, I say my job is to graduate someone who will come back and put me out of a job. So that's my challenge to you. So I say Godspeed to our students, and thank you all who came to show support for them today. Thank you.
Thank you, President Smith, for that warm welcome. And, you know, kind of just building on what he mentioned there about, you know, Zach giving the opening prayer there. Not only is he a Dakota language student, but he also is one of our fellow faculty, a colleague. And that one of the great things about tribal colleges is our ability, what we always say around here is that we wear many hats. All of us do multiple roles because, you know, we're a small institution, but we're a strong institution. And what gives us that strength is our students and our ability as instructors to make do with the resources we have. Not only to make do with those resources, but to maximize those resources for the benefit of our students. And Zach being an instructor, but also a student, says a lot about being an educator. Because when you're an educator, you're not just a teacher, you're also a student. Because a lot of times we learn just as much from you, students, as we do from the books that we use for our classes and the other information that we draw upon to teach our courses. You students are one of the best resources that we have as educators to improve our craft and to make sure that we are doing the best job possible, right? So with that, speaking of our wonderful students, we have a student speaker today who will share some words of wisdom about her experience here as a Cankdeska student. And I'm looking forward to hearing this. And I would like to call student Danae St. Pierre up to the podium, please.
Good morning. A lot of people in my life didn't think I would be here. There were days I wonder if I would be here. I work, have a school, and have a lot of demands in life. Today is a day I wasn't sure that would ever come. Standing here as a college student means more than to me. As a single mom, my journey to this stage wasn't easy, but it was worth every step. There were days I felt overwhelmed, tired, and unsure of myself. Balancing school as a full-time college student, working full-time, and raising my child was not simple. There was moments I wanted to give up when everything felt like too much, but I kept going. I kept going because my child is watching me. I kept going because I wanted a better future, not just for myself, but for my family. Out of my 6 siblings, I am the first to graduate with a college degree, and that means everything to me. This moment isn't just mine, it belongs to my family, to my child, and all my classmates graduating. I hope by standing here today, I could show that it is possible. No matter where you come from, what you go through, you can make it, but my story is just beginning. To my fellow classmates, each and every one of you have your own journey. We all face challenges, we all have moments where things felt impossible, but now look at us. We showed up, we pushed through, and today we are college graduates. As we move forward, life will continue to challenge us, But one thing we've proven, it's that we're stronger than those challenges. We are capable, we are determined, and we are ready for whatever comes next. To my child, thank you for being my reason to keep going. Everything I do is for you. I hope one day you see this moment and you know you can achieve anything too. Today I stand here not just as a college graduate, but as a mother, a role model, and proof that no matter how hard life gets, you can keep going. I did it, so did you. Congratulations, class of 2026. Do I just leave it?
Oh,
Just leave it.
all right. Thank you, Danae, for that speech. And one thing that kind of stood out, what she said about children. One of the things about education is that it's a multi-generational event. You students who are, here's the way I look at it, and I've been in the game for a while, is you students, you're blazing a trail. You're not only making an accomplishment or accomplishing things for yourselves, but you're also blazing a trail for your children, your grandchildren. And that is an amazing thing. Have you ever, and this is the way I explain that to my students whenever I talk about, and my students are always used to me going off on these long, I promise I won't go off on a long story. But I always imagine it like this. When you have deep snow is tough to walk through, isn't it? But somebody has to walk through that snow first. And when that person walks through that deep snow first, they create a trail. And that trail that's created is a lot easier for those who follow to walk along. So when I think about in at tribal colleges, statistically, the vast majority of students are first-generation students. So virtually all of our students are blazing a trail of one way or another. And so when you blaze that educational trail, you're making it so much easier for your children, your grandchildren, and others who will follow you. So kudos to you for being those trailblazers. And thank you, Danae, for that speech. It was great. Thank you. Now, at this moment, it is my great pleasure to introduce Spirit Lake Chairwoman Lana Jackson Street, who is our guest speaker.
Thank you, Eric. And I too went to St. Michael's School. So that ages me too, Eric. But I often think about the St. Michael's School. A lot of memories there, memories of my grandma cooking in the kitchen. And there's sometimes when I'm walking in the store or I'm somewhere, I don't know, randomly, and a smell hits me, and I think of St. Michael's School, a place that held so many memories for us as young children in our community. And although the building's gone, it's still nice to drive by there and think about our schooling there and what we were taught. And I remember Eric's grandma. I also remember Mr. Dunbar. Do you? Yeah. Did you mention him? Yeah, and he would literally walk down the hallway and he had this paddle that was about like this big. And it was a paddle, and it said, the Board of Education. I was never introduced to the Board of Education, were you? Yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that. I didn't want to go that far.
Anyway, good morning. Ampetiwashte, Yuha, good morning. I'm pretty sure that most everybody in here knows who I am, but let me introduce myself. My name is Lana Jackson Street, and I'm the current tribal chair for the Spirit Lake Tribe. And before I get started with my speech, I wanted to also introduce or also recognize former chairwoman Myra Pearson. She's in the room. also want to recognize Rena Lonis. And I don't see anybody else, so if any of the other council members are here, raise your hand. But I wanted to take the time to acknowledge Myra because I worked alongside of Myra, and these positions are very difficult. They don't come easy, and we have to deal with a lot of things on a daily basis. But one thing that's for sure about these positions is that we're here because we care about the people, and we want to be present for days like this to celebrate our people. So good morning, graduates. Dr. Stephen Smith, Board of Regents, college staff, and administration. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this year's graduation ceremony. Yesterday, it was really difficult for me because our community suffered a very tragic situation, and I hadn't written my speech yet, and I didn't feel like writing it, but I have to talk about it and I have to mention it because Dixie is a member of the Board of Regents, and she would be here today like normally. She's always here. She's always here to support the children, to support the graduates, and to honor her role being on the Board of Regents. So to the families, relatives, leadership, community members, and honored guests here today, thank you for being here to witness this beautiful and prideful moment in the lives of our graduates and their families. Before I officially begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the namesake of this institution, Cankdeska Cikana Community College. This college was named in honor of Mr. Paul Yankton Sr., whose Dakota name was Cankdeska Cikana. Mr. Paul Yankton was a recipient of 2 Purple Hearts and gave his life on November 29th, 1944, while serving in the United States Army as a rifleman in the 11th Infantry in Lorraine, France. The spirit of his name and his life lives on through this institution, through the education that flows from it, through opportunity, and especially through each of the graduates who will walk across the stage today. What a powerful thing it is that a place is dedicated to educating and uplifting our people and carries the name of a warrior who served with honor and sacrifice to his people. I also want to take a moment to thank the veterans for bringing in the flags. In our tribal communities, veterans hold a sacred place among our people. So we honor you and we thank you for your service and sacrifice as well. Thank you to the drum group for blessing us with the songs of our ancestors. The drum is a reminder of the heartbeat of our people. Through the songs and the language, it brings the spirit of our people together in unity. Thank you for the prayer. It grounded us in our cultural and spiritual beliefs as we began our ceremony today. In today's world, remaining spiritually grounded is more important than ever right now. Again, I also want to mention how honored I am to be the keynote speaker for your graduation ceremony today. I was telling Donalda, I said I usually do the welcome, so I graduated to the keynote speaker, which I'm very honored. And I have to be honest, I was actually nervous, and I'm nervous now. And we go and speak, in front of many people, groups included. So I was particularly hard on myself, and it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to talk about and how to prepare this address. Why? Because you're college graduates, you're educated. So I was racking my brain, and my brain in particular right now is completely overtaxed with things about tribal treaty, tribal government, trust responsibilities. And so I thought, oh man, this is really hard. I even started thinking back to my own graduation ceremonies. I'm alumni from right here at Cankdeska Cikana Community College as well. So go Wolves. And later, I'm now alumni from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks. Go Fighting Sioux, go Hawks. I was actually even trying to remember who my keynote speakers were, and I honestly couldn't even remember who they were. So I apologize if you're in the crowd. I couldn't even remember what they said, and like I said, who they were. So I thought, my gosh, I'm terrible with my memory. And so that honestly thought brought me to, and that's important, that most of the graduates today, you probably won't remember much of what is being said today, and you won't remember my carefully thought out sentences that I spent hours connecting to bring meaning. But what I remember from my own graduation is how you're gonna feel and how you feel today. How you felt last night in preparation, or maybe even this morning getting ready. Something like, oh my God, I finally did it. For me, it took me like 4 tries. And so I remember feeling extremely nervous and very proud at the same time when I heard my name being called across the stage to receive my diploma. Of course, I was all cheesy, as we say as Indian people, because I finally reached the end of what one of my educational goals was. So years from now, graduates, after life humbles us more times than we would like, with bills, with work, with parenting our kids, tribal politics, especially those general assemblies that last somehow 4 hours longer than they should and humble us extremely till the next one. It is in those moments that we remember a few things that are being said here today. And so I hope you remember this, that you belong here, you earned every bit and piece of this, and that Indian country, tribal politics, and most importantly, our tribal communities need you now more than ever. In leadership, today, this graduation isn't just about survival of our people. As you stand proudly in your caps and gowns, you earned your feathers, you earned your buckskin. And that's my visual, and that's how I see you. I said that a few days ago at United Tribes Technical College graduation, and I'll repeat what I said. As I look into the crowd, I see a bunch of educated Indians now. And today, for us, that's a victory of survival, dressed in caps and gowns. So today is proof that despite everything that our people have endured, we are still here. And I speak intentionally on that every chance that I get, because in my own educational journey, I learned of the horrors and the trauma and the lingering effects of boarding school on our people. And now we educate in our own tribal communities, on our own terms, on our own tribal lands, and by our own people and allies. And that deserves to be honored and celebrated. So take a moment today to remember this day. Look around the room, graduates, and remember that this achievement did not happen alone. You walked into this room carrying generations with you. The ancestors who prayed for opportunities that they were denied, and the family members who believed in you during those difficult times when it felt so much easier to give up. I was looking for a quote, and one of the quotes that I found was by Vine Deloria Jr., and it says, "The future of mankind lies waiting for those who will come to understand their lives and take up their responsibilities to all living things." I believe that that responsibility is sitting in front of me today in the form of graduates. And I know getting there wasn't easy, because at tribal colleges on reservations, our students don't attend college under normal circumstances by any means. We go to college while we're raising kids, taking care of our parents, attending ceremonies, preparing wakes and funerals for our relatives, working full-time jobs, and paying high gas prices just to get to class now. And somehow, We are still the ones that our aunties and our cousins call on to set up the tables, to haul the chairs, and to run to the C-store for snacks. Because apparently, working toward a degree means you own a truck and you have all this free time to help them. And this is true. Native higher education has never been free of barriers. Yet today, our tribal colleges and universities stand on powerful examples of resilience, vision, and self-determination. That is what makes tribal colleges so powerful. They have changed our stories. They have created places where people do not have to leave behind who they are in order to be educated and succeed. And when I think about resilience, when I think about our ancestors, I think about perseverance. I think about the ways our people have always prepared themselves spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, for the responsibilities ahead of them. I think about our traditional ways of life, fasting, vision quest, or seeking a vision. You see, as I mentioned, we start from somewhere, and sometimes that means finding ourselves digging out from the depths of grief, addiction, and uncertainty. In my own educational and leadership journey, I entered politics at a very young age. I was first elected to tribal government at the age of 28 in 2000. And somewhere in between high school graduation and Job Corps graduation, I also attempted college a few times. I had children, and I also thought my time in school was done because I now had a financial responsibility to care for them. Today, I reflect on all that has shaped my path. I do wonder, what the heck was I thinking back then in 2000 when I ran? I say that because at the time, and like many of us, I too faced the barriers by choice or by force. Still, I fulfilled my responsibility as a tribal leader by finishing my initial term. And I didn't return to tribal government until 2017, where I was elected again as the tribe secretary treasurer. This time, it was from under very different circumstances. I transformed my life away from addiction and from the completion of higher education on my horizon. During those quietest moments of those healing years, I had a dream. And I dreamt that I was sitting on the side of a hill facing west. During that moment when the day turns to night, and as I noticed the last streak of sunlight giving its final light to Mother Earth, I looked down at myself and I saw that I was holding a chunupa, a pipe, and I was sitting in the middle of prayer ties. I sat there till morning came. I was still praying and I was still holding that chunupa when a coyote came up to where I was, and he told me that he was going to come and visit me during my fast. This dream would come to reality. As instructed, I would go up on the hill to initiate a fast, seeking my vision. 8 months after that dream, I was put on the hill on my ancestral homelands at Jackson Hole along the Cheyenne River. I stayed there for 4 days and 4 nights, alone, with my prayer, with my faith, and with my belief in the Creator that I was going to survive, and that without the food, without the water, and without the genuine connection of people. But what I hoped for was to return with the instruction of life for my life and for the life of my people here on the Spirit Lake Nation. Those 4 days and those 4 nights were the hardest, most difficult time of my life, yet the most beautiful and most meaningful. It was the most connected that I had ever been to my spirituality and to Mother Earth. I was taught about my strength, the endurance of my mind, my body, and my spirit. I felt lonely, yet I was so surrounded by Mother Nature. the beautiful gifts in the form of plants, animals, weather, and beauty. I learned that in times I felt so alone, but everything was surrounding me, and I just had to connect to it. And on that fourth morning, while I was standing with my pipe in prayer, I heard something behind me. I was facing the west, so I slowly turned around, and Coyote was standing behind me, standing outside of my prayer ties. We looked at each other, and I swear we both like gasped, like I didn't know what to do, and he didn't know what to do. So in surprise and in fear, and mostly astonishment that my dream had been telling me the truth. And so on the evening of the fourth night, I was taken off the hill, eager to reconnect with my family, be around the people, and understand more deeply the meaning of support and of life in that moment. I often reflect on that time spent in nature alone with my thoughts, and I still long for the serenity of it. Random moments from those days still come back to me on their own, and I understand those moments are moments of clarity for my current path, and maybe a reminder of the need for endurance or stillness. So as I look at you graduates today, I realize that many of you have walked the same journey in your own ways. Although it may not have been fasting or participating in ceremony, it required sacrifice just the same. Some of you balanced school, work, children, grief, addiction, loss, self-doubt, and responsibility that many people will never understand because it's yours. Yet you continued forward to today. That is why this moment matters so deeply to all of us that are here today with you. Because education, indigenously, is not only about what you know, it's about who you become through that journey. And so for me today, I stand here and I'm the chairwoman of the tribe. And in about 2 weeks, I'll begin the fourth year of this term. And I've learned a lot through my service to the people. And one thing I know from prior terms and coming back and in between, that you never lose that care for the people. You never lose that desire to want to make a change. Someday soon, you as the graduates will carve out your own turn, and the people you will see, you will serve, you will lead, and you will help create a better path for those who will follow you. So I commend the graduates today. Wherever life takes you, never forget who you are, your Dakotas, or from whichever tribe you represent or community. Never forget who you are as educated people, as Indigenous people. Help your people. That's my ask. Help your people. And so I want to say congratulations to the graduating class of 2026. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. And I'm counting on you to be the future leaders of the Spirit Lake Nation, Miniwakan. Mitakuye Uyasin.
Thank you, Chairwoman, for that wonderful speech. She mentioned that we went to St. Michael's School, but we're also Warwick graduates together. So once a warrior, always a warrior. So yeah, we can applause to that. All right. Lana said a lot of wonderful things, but one of the quotes, and I'm going to use this, if that's okay, later on when I'm in my classes and stuff. She said, "You guys carry generations." Wow, what a powerful statement. Now that may seem kind of intimidating. It may even seem like kind of burdensome, like it's a great burden, like it's a great weight. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as opportunity. Because not only carry the weight of generations of the past, but also the weight of generations of the future. You're here now. You live, you exist, and you have that opportunity to blaze that trail. So carry that weight of generations with pride and with determination and with purpose. And you can never, ever go wrong, right? So now, before we go to the moment we've all been looking or waiting for, I would like to take a quick moment to recognize, now this is a day for our students, but I'd also like to recognize our faculty, Cankdeska faculty, who go above and beyond to help our students achieve their dreams and their goals. So at this moment, I'd like our Cankdeska faculty to please stand and be recognized. So stand up there, everybody. Not only is it an honor to be academic dean and instructor for all of you wonderful students, but it's also an honor to be academic dean for our wonderful faculty. Now, like I said, the moment we're all waiting for. At this time, graduates, please stand and proceed to receive your diplomas. And while they're making their way up here, I'll remind you again that there'll be plenty of time after the reading of the names and receiving of the diplomas, after the program is over, to take photos and to wrap your graduates with quilts. So please wait until that time. Thank you. Hey, Karen. Ready? 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 All right. We will now begin the reading of the names and the receiving of well-earned diplomas. The first group of students, our program that we will be handing out diplomas for, will be business administration. And so let's begin. Ilana Graybear. William Shiflett. Now, the next group, our program will be early childhood education. Annika Kavanaugh. Amy Giordano. Misty Speldrick. The next program of study is Indigenous Studies. Chance Guy. Oriana One Bear. And the next program of study is Liberal Arts. William Black. Brandon Dufany. Treston DeMars. Lorenda Graybear. Tammy Ironhawk. Kaylin Lonis. Andrea Owlboy. Chanel Paul. Julian Santos. Tiffany Thomas. Now for our fine arts program, Richard Kavanaugh. Samantha Leftbear. Now our next program is the social work program. Brittany Belgard. And Alyssa Kavanaugh. Natani Culbertson. Shania Jorgensen. Desiree Hoger. Sheldon Jones. Savannah Lara. Raya Little Ghost. Kayla Robertson. Danae St. Pierre. Sean Trottier. Rayanne Vivier. Now the next will be our certificate program. Carpentry, Chance Archambault. Samantha Archambault. Anthony Brown. Samuel Jetty. Kelson Kasia. Kylan Kaja. Adam Roneagle. Now the next certificate program is professional driver, our CDL program. Zach Allen. And finally, Waylon St. Clair Jr. All right, congratulations, graduates there. At this time, I would like the graduates to please stand and face your families, friends, and colleagues. Congratulations, class of 2026. If you have not done so already, you may move your tassels from right to left. And let's give them another round of applause. They deserve it. Now, graduates, you're not quite done yet. If you would please form a receiving line in the front of the stage here, so your adoring fans out there can greet you. And drummers, you may now start the honor song.
Hey!